Right now, campaign season is in full swing in battleground Wisconsin, with both presidential tickets locking in stops in the Dairy State next week, when and where they'll be on Tuesday. Plus, more than 100 local and regional artists take to Fitchburg for the annual Agora Art Fair. But first, dozens of pro-Palestine protesters in Madison call on Democrats to earn their votes ahead of the Democratic National Convention next week. That's all coming up tonight on News 3 Now at 6. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Braden Ross. Jalen has the night off. The Democratic National Convention kicks off in Chicago on Monday, but some here in Wisconsin's capital are trying to make their voices heard beforehand. Our Ellie Liberté shows us what protesters are calling for ahead of the DNC.
The pre-DNC protest here on Capitol grounds calls for a ceasefire and an arms embargo in Gaza. Now the message to the Democratic Party: earn our vote.
We won't stand for genocide!
We won't stand for genocide! Politicians work for us. We don't work for them.
Gathered on the steps of the Wisconsin Capitol, flags, posters, and speakers.
You will not simply get our vote under the guise of being the lesser of two evils.
If they are serious about winning the election, if they're serious about beating Donald Trump, they need to take this issue seriously.
Speaking directly to Democrats, calling for a permanent ceasefire and arms embargo in Gaza.
The time for empty promises and posturing has long passed.
In one of the most pivotal states in the presidential election, ahead of the DNC just 2 hours south in Chicago.
As Wisconsinites, we know how much the state matters.
Activists and Wisconsin delegates voicing their concerns.
I, along with other ceasefire delegates, hope to build pressure on the current administration.
Just a preview of a protest that's expected to gather thousands outside the DNC on Monday. March on the DNC, composed of nearly 100 different organizations, demands an end to U.S. aid to Israel, among other requests.
I know people who are going to participate as delegates. I know people who are going there as protesters. People who are, participating in the civic process.
Speakers also frustrated with the Harris's campaign, saying her participation in online trends is not enough to win their vote.
She's trying to appeal to young voters based on TikTok edits and Charlie XCX.
Voters are frustrated by politicians expecting us to vote for them because they say so.
Using the national attention in Chicago to amplify their voices.
We will show Democrats that they can't have our vote at the expense of the people of Palestine.
There was also a protest in Milwaukee ahead of the DNC. For now, reporting in Madison, Ellie Liberté, News 3 Now.
The city of Chicago and protest organizers have gone back and forth on permits for the demonstrations. The March website states the demonstration will be held in Union Park on Monday, just half a mile away from the DNC. And that has echoes of past conventions in Chicago. The DNC in 1968 in the city also saw massive anti-war protests. Ahead of next week's convention, we spoke with retired Chicago alder and political science professor Dick Simpson about the parallels we see between the 1960s and now.
We don't expect anything nearly as raucous. We already know who the president and vice presidential candidates will be. The platform is a compromise between the various factions of the parties. So the only real issue is how well the demonstrations go and how well the cities respond to it.
Simpson says the Democratic platform is much more of a moderate progressive platform, very different than the one Republicans approved during the RNC in Milwaukee. You can see more from that conversation this Sunday at 10:30 on For the Record. And both presidential candidates will make campaign stops in Wisconsin next week during the DNC. We learned today Republican vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance will hold a press conference on crime and safety in Kenosha on Tuesday. That's the same day Vice President Kamala Harris and her running mate Tim Walz will travel to Milwaukee for a rally at the Pfizer Forum, the same venue where Republicans held their national convention just last month. And next week, News 3 Now will be in Chicago for the Democratic National Convention. I'll be down there with Eric Franke, Susan Simon, and Brady Mallory. Charlotte DeLeste also joins us for special coverage, along with many of our reporters. News 3 Now this morning kicks off our team coverage of the event on Monday morning. Now let's get ready for some beautiful weather. Let's head out to the weather patio for a look at your first morning forecast with meteorologist Blaze Keller. Hi, Blaze.
And it's not too bad of a day. We're beginning to see a little bit more sunshine. It was cloudier earlier, but as expected, the further we went into your Saturday, we opened up those skies. And while there is mainly showers, a little bit of a thunderstorm is trying to get going there up near Fond du Lac, but our only shower activity here across southern Wisconsin and the News 3 Now coverage area, just outside of Prairie du Chien into mainly what is now Grand Grant County, kind of moving into Bloomington there, kind of hugging the Mississippi River. Very light to moderate, just a little kind of downburst of rain, and then it will move on. Temperatures are in the 70s, nearing 80 though in Janesville and Boscobel, 76 in Prairie du Chien, 75 in Madison and into Dane County. Most of us right around that 75-degree mark. A few of us around 76 though. Future track is going to continue to bring these scattered showers, but I think a lot of that is actually going to stay off towards, say, Sheboygan, Fond du Lac, north and eastern parts of Wisconsin. They're closer to the center of this low pressure system. But as we go further into your Saturday night, we'll become more partly cloudy, mid-60s overnight, and then we're back into the upper 70s to low 80s with more sunshine to end the weekend. But summer-like heat is set to return, and we'll track it out in just a few minutes.
Blaze, thank you. A biker is in the hospital after a crash with a car on the pedestrian path at West Washington Avenue and South Bedford Street today. It happened around 10 this morning. The driver of the car stayed on scene as first responders arrived. The biker was transported to the hospital in an ambulance. We do not know the extent of their injuries. Drivers who use North Lake Street will see their route altered on Monday. The area of North Lake Street from University Avenue to Langdon Street will be down to one southbound lane as the city works on a sanitary sewer replacement project. Cars wanting to travel northbound on Lake Street from University will need to follow posted signs for an alternative route. They suggest using Park Street to Langdon Street instead. The lane closure is expected to last through August 30th. Good news, though, the construction on North Lake Street between Johnson and University is wrapped up and two-way traffic has been restored there. Goodman Pool is back open today after a multi-day closure this week. On Tuesday, a guest brought a 3-inch long piece of glass they found in the shallow end of the pool to a lifeguard. That caused pool management to have to close the whole pool while they drained part of it, hand swept and vacuumed it just to be safe. But they got the all clear to open back up this morning for normal pool hours. The pool is scheduled to officially close for the season on Sunday, August 25th. In an effort to ensure everyone has an equal opportunity to treat and survive cancer, the American Cancer Society announced Tuesday it received a $1 million grant to help patients across Wisconsin and other states by providing funding to health systems, foundations, and community organizations, ensuring that cancer patients have access to transportation and lodging so that they're able to attend medical appointments and focus on their treatment and recovery. For more information about the American Cancer Society, visit www.cancer.org. And today marks the start of Madison Housing Week. The Madison Housing Coalition will host a series of events between now and Thursday aimed at raising awareness for housing issues in Madison. The capital city has a vacancy rate of 3.5%. That's below what a healthy rate for cities would be. That makes housing expensive and hard to find.
Right now, we see the crisis is affordability and supply, and they kind of go hand in hand. You know, it's economics 101. But, you know, what's creating that crisis is a broad different way. The way they're financed, the way our local zoning and what allows and what's been allowed since World War II, and then what options there are for people to move into. And so we're seeing a perfect storm.
Today, organizers hosted a walking tour of some of Madison's most iconic and thriving neighborhoods. Tomorrow's event is a presentation on how things like zoning, building codes, financing, and other barriers play a part in Madison's housing crisis. You can find a list of all the events online at madisonhousingweek.com. The Sun Prairie Sweet Corn Festival is in full swing this weekend. You still have time tonight and all day tomorrow to head out and get some fresh steamed sweet corn. You can also find plenty of family-friendly activities, live music, and other fun at Angle Park. They'll be serving up steamed sweet corn until 7 tonight and from noon until 6 or until supplies last tomorrow. Now, everything's a work of art. At least that's the case at the Agora Art Fair that was held in Fitchburg today. It featured artists from all over Wisconsin showing off paintings, ceramics, jewelry, photography, woodwork, sculptures. Basically, everything your artsy heart desires was at this fair. If it wasn't your first time at the fair, you may have recognized some returning vendors as well as some new artists.
The crowd is great. The crowd is nice. I see a lot of people that I see from show to show, and I see them, some of them only once a year here, and just having a good interaction. Entertainment, they got it all.
Now, on top of the shopping, there was also food and drinks from local restaurants and vendors, the Wisconsin Craft Beer and Wine Garden, live music, Momoka Art Cart for Kids, Madison Public Art Project, and so much more. Coming up after the break, we're introducing you to a Wisconsin 7th grader who's becoming one of the boys on the baseball field. And tonight at 10, the latest from the campaign trail as the race heats up ahead of the Democratic National Convention next week.
The burn pit at our base in Iraq had just shut down, but the poisons were around us everywhere. Back home, I got diagnosed with cancer, but the VA denied coverage to a lot of us who got sick. Tammy Baldwin knew that was wrong, and she wasn't going to let that stand. She worked with both parties to pass a law. So now, thousands of us exposed to toxic chemicals are getting the care that we deserve. It took a fight, but Tammy Baldwin, she's a hell of a fighter.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
I'm so happy I just put this dress on that I haven't worn in over 10 years.
This summer, feel confident from head to toe with Sono Bello Permanent Fat Removal and get summer body ready in just one visit.
I saw the results immediately. It's the best I have felt since I was in my 20s.
My waist is tiny. I'm very, very happy.
I'm nearly 50, y'all, and my abs haven't been this flat since before I had kids.
For a limited time, take advantage of Sono Bello's biggest sale of the year. Sono Bello's board-certified surgeons use micro-laser technology to safely target and remove your diet-resistant fat cells for good on your stomach, hips and thighs, back, and so much more.
It will change your life. It did for me.
I can't wait till the summertime hit. Hot Mom Summer, here I come.
Call 1-800-905-6520 now or go to sonobello.com to claim special pricing.
She grew up in a middle-class home. She was the daughter of a working mom, and she worked at McDonald's while she got her degree. Kamala Harris knows what it's like to be middle class. It's why she's determined to lower healthcare costs and make housing more affordable. Donald Trump has no plan to help the middle class, just more tax cuts for billionaires. Being president is about who you fight for, and she's fighting for people like you.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6. Moving forward.
Welcome back. In southeastern Wisconsin, a soon-to-be 7th grader is a rising star on the baseball diamond. Stephanie Sutton has more on this Elm Grove girl who is shining bright on the boys' baseball team.
Summertime and baseball fit like a glove. Plenty of talented boys on the Junior Lancers baseball team. But one of their star players is a girl.
I just love the game.
12-year-old Tegan Coffey.
Just a really fun sport, a lot of action.
Her love of the game started at a young age.
I've been playing baseball since I was 3 or 4 years old.
She wears number 44 in honor of her favorite player.
It was Hank Aaron's number.
The Elm Grove native, one of the few girls in Wisconsin her age who plays select baseball.
I don't like playing softball because I think it's just too girly for me.
All right, Tegan, let's go. Go. Tegan initially started playing t-ball, and the reason why she didn't want to play softball is because she said it's a sport for girls.
Do you think you're better than some of the boys?
Yes, I think I'm better than some of the boys.
One out, guys.
She's definitely one of the best on our team.
She eats, sleeps, and breathes baseball.
So this is my room.
Decorating her bedroom with her favorite baseball items.
I have a bunch of baseball cards over here. I also collect baseball bobbleheads. Above my bed, I have a Bruce poster. And then over here, this is from MVP from the Game Day USA tournament that I qualified for last year.
Tegan's talents on the diamond catching the eye of Major League and USA Baseball.
These are my name tag from my locker from the Trailblazer series I went to.
Earlier this year, she was one of only 96 girls invited to participate in the Trailblazer series.
It was all about girls in baseball. All got invited to Vero Beach, Florida at the Jackie Robinson Training Center, and we all played there for a weekend. And I got to meet a bunch of cool coaches. It was just a fun and cool experience for me.
Speaking of cool, Tegan's teammates treat her like one of the boys.
Having Tegan as my teammate is just like any other boy. I mean, we expect the same as her and no more, no less than she delivers. My ultimate dream is to play for the Brewers in the MLB.
Tegan Coffey brewing up big hits and proving you don't have to be a boy to play the game of baseball.
It's nice just to represent for girls and to other girls who want to play baseball. Do it, don't let anyone stop you, and play if you want to.
Now, Tegan plays multiple positions, including pitcher, catcher, and shortstop. She also bats cleanup and hopes to continue playing baseball when she gets to high school. Coming up after the break, meteorologist Blaze Keller has a check of the first warn forecast. We'll be right back.
We know the fentanyl coming from Mexico and China is a threat here in Wisconsin.
It's why Tammy Baldwin is working to stop it.
And Tammy passed the bipartisan Fend Off Fentanyl Act.
It takes on the Mexican cartels and the fentanyl coming from China.
And Tammy Baldwin voted 32 times to strengthen our border.
32 times to increase border patrols.
And technology to keep illegal drugs out. Because Senator Baldwin knows
keeping us safe is her first priority.
Tell Tammy Baldwin to keep securing our borders.
This is the Tempur-Pedic Breeze mattress, and it's designed to help you feel cool. So no more sweating all night, no kicking off the covers or blasting the air conditioning, because only the Tempur-Pedic Breeze is made with our one-of-a-kind cooling technology that pulls heat away from your body, so the mattress feels up to 10 degrees cooler all night long.
Save up to $700 on select Tempur-Pedic adjustable mattress sets and get a $300 gift. Denver Mattress, the easiest way to get the right Tempur-Pedic.
To everyone out there who loves Culver's,
the feeling is mutual. Everything's made fresh.
Everything. Everything.
It's our pleasure.
This is me and my happy place.
I wouldn't trade our Culver's for any other restaurant.
Culver's.
Yay! We love our guests.
Love.
Love.
As much as our guests love us.
This is me and my happy place.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Yeah.
The story of Scott the Window Guy starts with the crack of a bat and a broken window. Little did I know, Mom actually wanted her windows replaced. I'm Scott the Window Guy from AHT Wisconsin Windows. For the past 50 years, we've been replacing windows in Wisconsin with a 50-year warranty and a 10-year glass breakage guarantee to protect you
from kids like me.
Get a free, no-obligation estimate and $225 off per window at scottthewindowguy.com.
Kamala Harris has spent decades fighting violent crime. As a border state prosecutor, she took on drug cartels and jailed gang members for smuggling weapons and drugs across the border. As vice president, she backed the toughest border control bill in decades. And as president, she will hire thousands more border agents and crack down on fentanyl and human trafficking. Fixing the border is tough. So is Kamala Harris.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Now let's get a check at your firstborn forecast with meteorologist Blaze Keller. Hi, Blaze. Maybe you can do better than I did.
I don't know. I need a couple more cups of coffee for sure. As we continue to make our way into the rest of your Saturday afternoon, we'll continue to dry on out. You're seeing a lot of area across southern Wisconsin not covered by the greens, the yellows, the oranges, and even the reds, indicating those moderate showers. We do find one shower, though, continuing to kind of fizzle out as it moves into parts of Grant County. Prairie du Chien, we may be hit again, but this shower is continuing to move its way off the Mississippi over B-Town, maybe eventually hitting Potosi. Cassville will probably get a little bit of rain too. I think Lancaster will skip out on it. Same with those of us in Fenimore, but this is really it. We're on the backside of a low pressure system, and we're in a more stable air mass. Energy is found closer to the center of that low, which is why more of that shower activity is along the Lake Michigan shoreline, where they're sitting in those low to mid 70s. Everybody else kind of similar temperatures, maybe slightly warmer, especially into the Boscobel area and Janesville. We're in those upper 70s. Black River Falls also at 78 degrees. Dane County, very similar. Right around 75 degrees is where we're pretty much all at, thanks to some westerly winds at times, but mainly out of the north. The high pressure system is moving on in, but we're going to wait to usher in the more comfortable air until we start off our next work week. Again, Future Track wants to paint a couple more showers. I think it's possible, but given that we're slightly drier, I think we'll go into the rest of this evening on the more partly cloudy side, drying out as we head overnight, eventually settling into those mid 60s with a light northerly wind. Those winds do pick up, though, as we go into your Sunday, because we have to usher in this more cooler and drier air mass in time for Monday and then further into Tuesday. Looking at Sunday, Future Track continues to keep us on the quiet side. Those arrows indicating those breezy northerly winds throughout the day, but we're back into the upper 70s to low 80s, and the reason is truly just because we see sunshine. Northerly winds would otherwise cool us down, but it is going to be breezy at times to end your weekend. Get out and enjoy it while we're going to be quiet as we start off next week. The second half of next week is actually looking to be quite warm compared to where we're going to start off. So That high-pressure system continues to sit over the Great Lakes region, slowly spinning its way overhead, keeping us quiet, as you just saw there on Future Track for your Monday and your Tuesday. It's into Thursday that southerly winds really take on over, and we start to warm on up. You're seeing those reds indicating the darker reds, the better chance for those warmer than average temperatures. And take a look. Our average as we go into that Thursday time frame should be about 79 degrees, but we're going to be in the low 80s Thursday, Friday, and then back into the mid 80s starting the next Saturday through that following Monday, and possibly tapping into those upper 80s, if not the low 90s, by that following Tuesday. So for folks who maybe have felt like we're feeling like fall a little bit too early, we're going to get that taste of summer as we go into the next week or so, beginning about Friday of next week. So a beautiful Sunday, Monday, Tuesday as well for fall lovers. You kind of get a taste of it before you maybe had to put back those light sweatshirts and put back on the shorts as we're back into those mid to upper 80s with the humidity climbing as well.
I am certainly one of those fall lovers, so I'm excited to hear that.
I got a little taste.
I know we did.
I don't want to give it back.
Oh my gosh, the hoodies and the sweaters and everything. The fashion is just like better in the fall. I just think it is.
And you can say it again.
Still ahead, less than 2 weeks from kickoff, Wisconsin football is shifting its focus. Hear from Luke Fickle next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
The alarming spike in inflation soaring to its highest level in nearly 40 years.
That is called Bidenomics.
Gas prices rose again today, reaching a new all-time high.
We're still dealing with inflation, and we've got super high interest rates at the same time.
Bidenomics is working.
2/3 of Americans are just struggling to make ends meet.
And this comes after Friday's jobs report showing a spike in unemployment.
And we are very proud of Bidenomics.
Insurance costs going up? Erie Insurance has great coverages, rates, and claim service. And your rates won't increase because of celebrity advertising campaigns or sports stadium sponsorships. Call Affordable Insurance Solutions for your auto, home, or business quote and see what Erie Insurance can do for you.
Dad, are you certain this is gonna work?
Nothing to it.
Are you for imprint certain?
Certainty matters, like the certainty of 4imprint, your home for high-quality promotional gear, including exclusive items and brands they love. Printed perfectly and guaranteed to arrive on time. To wow your clients, nail your next event, or inspire your team, check out 4imprint.com.
4imprint, for certain.
One size rarely fits all. That's why at Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we carry a huge selection of quality name brand jeans and pants. We're so confident we have the right brand, style, and fit for you that we'll give you a free $5 Blaine's Farm and Fleet gift card for every pair you buy. Like men's or women's Ariat jeans. Get an extra $30 gift card for every $150 Ariat purchase. And men's Rustler jeans, just $15.99. Find your perfect pair of jeans for less at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
I became a nurse to make lives better. Today, that's hard to do because of the open border. I've seen firsthand the damage that Kamala Harris caused as our country's borders are. Hospitals everywhere are overwhelmed, and American patients are paying the price. My patients are covering the healthcare costs for people here illegally while their own care is jeopardized. Kamala Harris is weak and dangerous.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
News 3 Now brings you team coverage from the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. We'll talk to delegates about the issues that matter right here in Wisconsin. Campaign 2024 DNC coverage live from Chicago, starting Monday on News 3 Now.
After 2 weeks in Platteville and another week back here in Madison, fall camp is starting to wind down for Wisconsin football for the most part. Less than 2 weeks out from their Week 1 matchup with Western Michigan, Wisconsin is shifting away from live action practice, turning to a more mental approach, getting their bodies and minds right for the long season ahead.
This was probably one of the last days where we could really, truly kind of get after it in a way that we would like to before we find out on the 30th what we really got. So that doesn't mean we're done. It doesn't mean camp is over. I mean, there's a different mode here as we move forward. I think we're in a really good place. I think that it's a little bit unique now to say, okay, we got to continue to work. We got to continue to do the things we need to do, but we also need to get ourselves healthy. We need to try to find a way to get our legs and our minds back.
To the NFL preseason, where Muma Jongmeta has been eating. After going undrafted out of Wisconsin, the Bengals picked him up as an undrafted free agent, and the linebacker may just be there to stay. His 10 tackles led Cincinnati last week, and today he collected another 8 tackles, again leading the team. As for the Packers, ahead of their second preseason game, they got to Denver a few days early to join the Broncos in a joint practice. As you can imagine, when you're practicing against your own team every single day, not only can things get kind of mundane, but also you can fall into bad habits. The Pack say practicing with the Broncos helped them get more into season mode, just like tomorrow's game will.
Facing another team allows you to kind of see where your confidence levels are, kind of see how you can gauge your opponent. And it's also somebody else to go against, instead of going against our offense every day.
Some other faces, going up against some good competition, always want to do your best against, somebody else after seeing the same offense for a long time. So it was fun, being able to just run around, see a different look, and make plays.
And the preseason can be kind of boring when you're Patrick Mahomes. So today, the Chiefs superstar decided to try a behind-the-back pass. Yes, you heard that right. He said afterwards that he threw it out of spite because Travis Kelce apparently ran the wrong route, and it just so happened to turn into an unforgettable highlight. Brewers are hosting the Guardians as we speak, looking for their 4th straight win. But we're here to talk about their swag. Braden and Blaze, it is Players Weekend in Major League Baseball, which means the players get to use all of their craziest swag, whether it be bats or cleats or what have you. Unfortunately, I didn't bring out anything too
no
crazy.
Crazy swag for you?
I don't know. I mean, I don't
Players Weekend.
Yeah, you can say that. Yeah, we'll have our own one of these weekends.
Yeah, maybe you'll have to keep an eye out for what swag we have. Maybe we'll do like special shoes or something, special ties.
I'll be sure to point them out.
I don't know, but it definitely feels like fall.
It
all that
certainly
football
does.
talk makes me, and like we were talking about before, I'm so excited for fall. I'm so excited.
It's going to feel like it as we go into Monday and Tuesday, and then it's going to go right back to summer as we look to end next week. Over the next 12 hours, we will be quiet, maybe a shower or two, but you can always track them out on our First Warn weather app. We have a little interactive radar there, but I think a lot of us are going to stay dry tonight. 80s for your Sunday, plenty of sunshine. It will be a bit breezy, but then we're back into those mid-70s Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week, and then we're into the heat and humidity by that following weekend. Mid to upper 80s starting Saturday through that following Tuesday.
Awesome. I'm excited for the fall weather.
Same.
Can't wait. Thank you so much. See you next week.